Hey, good morning. We're going to take a minute to walk around this Toyota Landcruiser. It's been kind of sleeting and raining here. I finally got a window to be able to crawl around and underneath this thing. But I just want to kind of do a virtual test drive here and show you what we got. It's a little covered in dust right now, but it still looks pretty good. Let's go for a ride. It's been sitting here, for probably a week or so. I haven't started it up since then. Put the keys right here. Fired right up just like it should. Of course, it's a Toyota. Got all the tech right here, fully functional, which is really important. Navigation, let's set this to auto. Turn up that temp a little bit. Looks like she just turned 147,191 miles. Close that door. Got the rear windows that open. The antenna, actually, this is your differential lock. Got a cassette. It does have a CD player. I think it's in here. Yep. Multi-disc player. Everything does work. We did verify that the CD player does work if you still have CDs. The interior looks pretty good for, being as old as she is. I haven't detailed it or cleaned it, and I've been driving it personally, so could use a good professional detail. It's got the old DVD player for what it's worth in those age, and they're in that era. Let's go for a ride. We'll run it down the road here. I'll zoom in here on the dash so you can see how easy and nice and smooth these transitions and shifts are. Seatbelt on. Looks like I got a door open somewhere too. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go down Valley Center Road here. I'll let it warm up before I give it too much gas. Let's take off nice smooth acceleration here. Good smooth shift into second gear. Smooth shift into third gear. I mean, this is a Landcruiser with under 150. There's not really too many surprises in a vehicle this old. Or, I'm sorry, vehicle with this little miles. These things are pretty much tanks. We see them with over 250, 300,000 miles pretty frequently at auto auctions. Still running. They may not look this good, but they still run. They tend to run 500,000 miles or so. So we got some weather moving in. Another beautiful day in Bozeman, Montana, but we got some dry pavement, so we can crawl up underneath this thing here in a few and show you how nice it looks. 50 miles an hour, nice and smooth, no shakes in the steering wheel. Everything is as it should be. Tires feel really good. Looks like we're still a little cold, so I'm not going to put it to the floor yet, but I'll just give it a little bit of gas so you can see the pickup gear there. It grabs really quick. No flares, no inconsistent shift pattern. GPS track's really good. We got a crack right here in the windshield. Nothing too terrible. Probably need a windshield eventually, or we can put one in for you. We usually get them done for right about $165 to about $200. Looks like we're a little bit above that cold mark now, so turn around here and heavy braking feels really good. These brakes are pretty solid. There's no shimmying, no shaking, no evidence of warped rotors or anything. The pads feel good. There's not any excessive squishy brake pedal or anything like that. Looks like we're a little bit low on fuel, but that'll be all right. Okay, here we're going to do a hard acceleration takeoff now that we're warmed up. Smooth shift. Sounds great. I think I got the sunroof cracked, so it's a little bit loud. Went right through all the gears just fine. Runs and drives great. I personally drove it all the way back from Las Vegas where we purchased it. Had a little trailer behind it with a little Subaru on it. I'd probably say 5,500 pounds, maybe 6,000, totally like a champ. No inconsistencies, so we personally road tested this vehicle, gosh, I think at least probably 1,000 miles already, and haven't had any inconsistencies whatsoever. That trip from Vegas was a 12-hour day, so ran straight, steady, no issues for 12 whole hours. Get back to my place here and I'll do a full walk around and show you the undercarriage, pop the hood, show you the fluids, show you all the cosmetic imperfections everywhere, and we'll go from there. Alright, we're just getting back to my place here. Okay, so the motor sounds great. 4.8 liter. These things are bulletproof. Let me zoom out here. I'm gonna walk around this whole thing real quick for you. Let me just zoom out here. I'm gonna start in the front driver's side corner and kind of walk around the whole thing. For its age overall, it looks pretty good. When you stand back, you can hardly see any of the blemishes. Missing the center caps. I don't know if they fall off or maybe somebody just stole them over the years or something. You can get them on eBay relatively inexpensive for a whole set. Looking down the body here, it looks pretty straight. I'm sure there's probably a door ding or two in there. Just because of the age, I don't see any that are popping out to me. But I would imagine there's got to be at least one door ding. Here we got some spots right here from people opening their doors that you can really barely even see once you back up off of it. Again, that's all pretty typical common stuff for the age. She looks great. Now I'm going to zoom into some of the places that aren't perfect. That's really what you wanted to see here on the front bumper. We got a little tiny crunch. I don't really see any broken paint, but nevertheless there's a little tiny, oh, there's some broken paint right there. Again, you stand back a couple feet and it's barely noticeable, but blemish nevertheless. A lot of things that we see up here are a lot of rock chips across the hood. This one looks pretty good. Don't see too much exposed paint there or anything. Headlights are nice and polished. Lower valence. Doesn't actually have a lower valence on these Landcruisers, which is good because they usually just get ripped off anyways. So just wanted to zoom in on there. Looking down the driver's side, it actually looks really good. It's dusty. We get some rain up here, but again, I don't see any major door dings or anything, but I'm sure there has to be. A little tiny spot right here. This has got some discoloration that may or may not buff out. But again, standing back, you can't really notice little things like that, but I'll just zoom in one more time to a little bit of discoloration right here. A couple spots where it's been hit with some doors. Nothing too terrible. I see a couple minor door dings right here. I don't even know if the camera will pick them up. Maybe if I get the right angle. Tiny ones right there. A little tiny door ding there. But again, zooming out, you can't really see it. I think you can kind of see one right there that's very minor. That's probably the worst one on the car. Because it's black, it really shows up. A little tiny guy right there. When we look for rust on these vehicles, we always start underneath the doors. Looks pretty good. Nothing down here on the rockers. Rust is a pretty common issue on these Toyotas for these years, so Let's walk through the interior real quick. Again, it hasn't been detailed. There's a place called Mars here in Bozeman that can repaint these seats and fill them in, make them look brand new for about $350 if you care. But it'll really come out looking a lot nicer. Got the WeatherTech floor mats in it. Seats feel great, and for the age, they don't look too bad. They're okay. A little bit of fine detailing goes a long way. WeatherTech floor mats over there. Steering wheel's got a little bit of wear up top here, which isn't uncommon either for its age. Don't get anything off of my hands though, so that's a good thing. All these windows work just fine. Let me just open them real quick. It's got steering wheel controls. The tilt wheel and everything works as it should. I'll show you the back seat. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It looks pretty good in the back actually. But this tan just doesn't wear very good over time. You know, these things kind of tend to stretch out. No big deal there. I think there's a way to kind of tighten them back up. All the rear stuff does work. We did test it. I don't know how to turn it. There it goes, something like that, I guess. DVD system does work. Rear seat entertainment. For what it's worth, I think that's like a, it's smaller than my phone. It's got to be like a 5.5-inch screen or something. Does have the seats in the back. And they look great. Doesn't look like they've ever been used. A little bit of wear on the back side of it from people throwing suitcases and so forth in. Those windows opened up just fine. Back seats here, heavily worn. I don't know, maybe we can get some of this stuff out. Again, just from cargo and so forth. You're going to expect to see stuff like that in an older vehicle. Again, the back of the seats don't look as good as the front, but a lot of that is probably just detailing. And I know those guys out at Mars, they do the entire seats. They come out looking brand new. They actually put this Bondo-like leather material on the seats that's guaranteed for 10 years. And they actually paint them the original OE leather. And gosh, they really do miracles. A little bit of, I don't know if it's coffee or something there on the tailgate. Everybody loves a tailgate, so spills are going to happen. But again, you know, nothing's really torn. I probably should detail this thing up a little bit. But this is exactly how we got it, plus the 1,000+ miles or so we put on it. Let's take a look underneath the undercarriage. So the frame looks pretty good. Frame rot is pretty common on these things. So it's something that we really look at. Toyota really did a poor job of designing their chassis back in the day. This is one of the first spots we looked for rust. Down here, we got the rocker panels. Other than a little bit of dirt, it all looks pretty good. I just tried to look underneath and it was pretty dark, so I may actually just have to take some pictures, but let me just try it again.